Hello, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's rant is going to be about uncomfortable, uncomfortability, being uncomfortable, whatever it's called, there's many different ways to say it, but I I have a pretty interesting opinion about this, and as you go through life, there's going to be parts of your life where you are going to feel uncomfortable, Definitely. There's always going to be parts of your life that are going to make you feel so uncomfortable and, but where my opinion really comes in is that you can't always just give in or quit. I don't know, like the situation, but let's say, a certain type of person makes you uncomfortable. Maybe, you shouldn't always just give in or quit talking to somebody just because you feel that. Maybe you could work through it. Maybe it's a misunderstanding between you and the other person. And maybe that feeling is just confusion because you don't understand what's going on. And you could be perfectly compatible, but there could be a miscommunication which could cause you to feel uncomfortable, but then you work through it. You talk to them, you use communication, and over time, you could feel a lot more comfortable with them. But people are just so, easily influenced by their feelings, especially being uncomfortable, Especially when you're not always going to feel comfortable in this world. Sometimes you have to feel uncomfortable. And maybe it is right. Maybe you are uncomfortable and your body is correct about what it feels, but you're not always going to feel comfortable, people. 100% comfortability in this world all the time doesn't exist, and you have to be able to get through uncomfortable positions or this world's going to eat you alive, It's going to fucking eat you alive if you don't have, the will to get through uncomfortable positions, You have to push through. You can't just give up, You can't just give in. And I'll tell you a very uncomfortable position that I was put in one time. I had a girlfriend and I had a female friend, and they started communicating on Facebook with one another because they saw each other's posts. So I had my girlfriend starting a fight with my friend, and my female friend, and they were bickering back and forth, and my girlfriend was telling me to stand up for her and, telling me to do this. It was a very uncomfortable position for me to be in. Very uncomfortable. But I didn't just give in and quit, I worked it out and I came to a resolution for it. I didn't give in and quit. I'll tell you another thing that's very uncomfortable for me. It's when you're waiting in line, you're waiting. You're not really in line. You're just waiting around in the same area as people for an order. And that can be very uncomfortable, especially when you have to stand so close to people and there's just this awkwardness in the air. But, if you want to eat your food, you have to go up there and wait for it. There's certain things in life that you're going to feel uncomfortable doing, but it's just part of life and you have to get through it. So I just feel like people are just slaves to their emotions. They feel uncomfortable and they just let it control them and stuff like that. And, especially there'll be times where I'm talking to somebody online and they'll say they feel uncomfortable. Well, I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. Especially if I've been nothing but respectful, I've been mindful, I've been the best version of myself and they still feel uncomfortable. Well, at that point, that's your own fucking problem, It's your own problem that you feel that way. And I'm not going to compromise who I am and compromise my values or try to change myself because someone else feels uncomfortable when I've done nothing wrong for them to feel that way. So, You know, a lot of the time when people feel uncomfortable, it's their own fucking problem and there's actually nothing really going on. You know, like me feeling like uncomfortable waiting in line for an order. Like that's just normal. Like people do it all the time. Like it was my own brain like making me feel that way. Like it wasn't real, you know? Like a lot of the time we make up our own problems in our mind, especially when we feel uncomfortable. And someone's bound to say, "Oh, you insensitive pricks, you don't care about other people's feelings." And actually, no, I don't care about other people's feelings, especially when they're talking about me making them uncomfortable when I've done nothing fucking wrong. So I'm not going to feel sorry for that, and I never will feel sorry for that. And people just need to get over themselves and realize that not everything is going to go their way all the time. But anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Mars October Rants. I'm going to end it here. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.